Good morning, good morning, good morning. It is Monday, the 10th of February 2025. Hello, hi everyone in the chat. We've got Diz there, we've got Benjamin, we've got Anne, we've got Jeff True, we've got Martin Harrow, we've got Billy Kershaw in the chat, and others. If you'd like to join them in the chat, just hit the subscribe button right now. Right now, if you're watching it live, if you're watching it and catch up, you can still subscribe, and then tomorrow you can add your chat. Or tonight on Stateside, we'll be talking more about what's happening in America. Oh, God, what's happening in America? Okay, so I woke up with a very disturbing thought this morning, and I want to share that disturbing thought with you. So if you're not in the mood for disturbing thoughts, maybe, I don't know, find some kitten videos to go and watch instead of this, because this is a really disturbing thought. Okay, here's a couple of things that Elon Musk, the richest and most powerful man in the world right now, can actually do. So one of them, I was thinking about this, there's 200,000 Teslas on the road in the UK alone. So 1 in 5 electric cars in the UK is a Tesla. And these things, they update remotely, right? And when they get updated, you can't drive them for an hour, right? You've got to leave them parked for an hour while they update, right? So there's obviously a mechanism there to brick the Tesla from afar, remotely. Tesla, bricked, remotely, through the internet. You just press the brick button, the Order 66. You just press that button, right? And all Teslas in the UK, whichever country you choose, just stop, dead, slam the brakes on. I mean, some cars will be at parks outside the road, some will be in garages, but some of them will be doing 80 miles an hour down the M1. That's a bit disturbing. The fact that Elon Musk conceivably has the power to do that. Oh, but Graham, it's fine, you know, it's only if it's connected to the local network. Is it? Is it? Is it? You do know that Elon Musk also owns Starlink satellite systems, right? What protections are there for us, for his satellites to communicate to his Teslas all over the world to say, stop? Or, here's a question for you. What if there's a subroutine in there somewhere that causes the Teslas to overheat and burst into flames? I mean, it could happen. It could be a thing that they obviously never used, because when they tried it once in testing, the Tesla went on fire because it overheated the processor so much, and that sparked a thing, whatever, I don't know. But is it outside the realms of feasibility that could happen? That we could have 200,000 incendiary bombs driving around the UK right now at this very instant? Because I'll tell you this now, make it a lot easier to invade a country if, there's 200,000 burning things on the road or in people's garages, on people's driveways. Things that burn really, really hot, twice as hot as a normal, not a normal car, but an internal combustion engine car. Twice as hot. Yeah, it takes about 4 times as much water to put an electric car fire out as it does for an internal combustion engine car. Actually, you don't want to use water on an internal combustion engine car because obviously it's petrol, so you just mix water with it. It just basically turns to steam, which then feeds more oxygen into the flames and makes the flames go even bigger. So yeah. No, don't use water on oil fires. What's stopping him? Morality? The law? The UN? The ICC? The American government? President Trump? Here's the really disturbing thought that I had this morning. There's nothing stopping him. If that's what he wants to do, I'm not saying he's going to do it, but if that's what Elon Musk wants to do, he can fucking well do it. But Graham, you'll say, it'll tank the value of Tesla. Yeah. Do you think he gives a shit? Guy's got access to $6 trillion worth of American taxpayers' money. He's going through it line by line because they gave £33,000 to a transgender play in Tennessee 14 years ago or something. Yeah. And he knows that people aren't very good with numbers. And $47,000, $6 trillion. I mean, is there really much of a difference there? I think if you stacked up $6 trillion in $1 bills, it would go all the way to the fucking moon. Yeah, a bit disturbing. Bit of a worry. Bit of a worry. Anyway, right. If you don't use them for a while, they drain the battery that runs the computer system, so you can't use them even plugged in. They stop charging once the primary battery is full, says Martin Harrow. There are no protections, says Katrina Bryce. So here you go. Here's your homework for today. If you can be asked, I want you to write to your MP. I want you to write to your MP and ask your MP what specific safeguards the UK government has put in place to stop Elon Musk from bricking all of his Teslas remotely or controlling things in our country via his Starlink satellites. Because you're talking about a guy who's running a hostile foreign power at the moment. Pretty hostile, gotta say. As the hostile things go, this is pretty hostile, what he's doing right now. This is the guy, the richest man in the world, who could end world hunger. He could. He has enough money. He has enough private money as a citizen to stop world hunger. But instead of doing that, he's literally slapping food out the mouths of starving orphans in Africa. Could you imagine Bob Geldof in the mid-80s? He's like, I'm going to do Band-Aid. I'm going to help the children of Ethiopia. And he turns up with this food, right? And the starving children, malnutrition children, with the bloated stomachs, and you can see the ribs, and it's just, and they've got flies on their faces. And he turns up with all this money, with all this food, right? And then in front of the starving children, he throws the food into the mud and stamps on it all. And he pours water, clean, fresh water, because they want to drink muddy water. Clean, fresh water. He pours it in on the ground in front of starving children. That is what Elon Musk has done. Let's make no bones about this. The man is a fucking monster, and he needs to be stopped. He needs to be stopped. So please, write to your MP, ask what the government has put in place to stop these things from happening. Because I don't even think they've thought about it. And this is the issue with the left. We keep doing this stupid thing where we suffer from a failure of imagination, and every time the right do something that we know they're going to do, they're like, oh shit, didn't expect them to do that. Really? Did you really not expect? Yeah, because I was hoping that they'll be better than that. Fucking grow up, the left. We're fighting the fight of our lives right now. This is the fight against fascism. If these guys are allowed to just do whatever the fuck they want to do, we are fucked on so many levels, okay? Because it's not just us. It's our children and our grandchildren who are going to have to live with the effects of fucking climate change. There was a news story over the weekend about an island in Panama, somewhere quite close to my heart, where the entire population of the island has had to be relocated 2.5 miles away on the mainland because their island has gone, it's pretty much underwater. Not all the time because it's tidal, but, enough of the time that they're having to sleep in beds, with the hammocks above actual water. The seawater has come so high because of climate change. Canary in the coal mine. Canary in the coal mine. Oliver Brown says Tesla sales are taking a nosedive. Yes, they are, but so what? He's got all that money from the Treasury, which he can just give to himself. There's no oversight. When asked about what the oversight was, the fucking gobshite in the press conference or the Congress or whatever, the Trumpelite went, Musk is going to sort out that. He'll decide that there's a conflict of interest. Yeah. The bank manager who wants to rob his own bank is the person who decides that there's a conflict of interest in him doing that. Great. That's always worked so well in the past, hasn't it? Hasn't it? Ooh, we have Alistair Gam saying, well, you're not a new member, but you've been a member for 4 months. Please keep ranting, Graham. I fucking will. Because someone's got to say it. And I think that, one of the problems that we keep having on our side is we do want to appeal to the better angels of people. But these people don't have any better angels. They're fucking demons. And they want to kill us all. I can't stress that enough. They started with the transgender people. They used that as a Trojan horse for fascism. So everyone's going, I don't want trans people using the wrong bathroom. I don't want trans people playing volleyball. I mean, fuck me. That's going to be the end of the fucking world. I mean, do you know what you sound like, Margaret? That's not even a name. Mildred, even. Do you know what you sound like? Do you know what you sound like when you say stuff like that? You sound like a fucking dick. That's what you sound like. Jesus Christ. But the trans people, they might go for a wee in a cubicle next to me. Yeah. Okay. But. Okay, but what? But what? Oh, but they won't even accept the word woman anymore. You can't be a woman. You can. You can. It's like saying you can't say you're British anymore. They'll lock you up. Really? Really? Is that true? Is that fucking true? No. You fucking idiots. But yeah, loads of people have fallen for it. Loads of people on the left have fallen for the transphobia thing, which is just so depressing. Have you noticed how? I mean, we're amongst friends here. Come closer. Have you noticed how all transphobes are fucking minging? Like, have you seen them? They're all like fucking idiots. Like, I wouldn't touch any of them with a 50-foot pole. Like, they're just, it's like, what's wrong with your face? Why is there a thing where your face should be? I can't be the only one who's noticed that. Anyway, Simon Smith, I've got someone to write in the chat now. I'm a transphobe and I'm very attractive, babe. I'm sure you are. Anyway, moving on. Us trans people are all about respecting pronouns, so you can absolutely be a woman. Yeah, exactly. That's just like, what did they do? What, you can imagine someone on the street and they're like lying there and they're all in agony. They're like all, like this with pain. They're like, fuck. And you run over to them and you go, what? What's the problem? What's the problem? People are using pronouns. Sorry, what? What? I've just called 999. I thought that you were in serious pain, serious discomfort. I am in discomfort. They're using pronouns. Seriously? That's it? That's your thing? And I'm also playing volleyball in another country, maybe. I don't know. Okay. Right. Wow. That took a turn. Paul, thank you very much for the super chat, mate. Better cover the demonetization. Thanks, Paul, for the £2 super chat to cover the demonetization. Gallifreyan Ren, they're scared of us using changing rooms. Funny, I'm scared of being confronted at a changing room by someone angry and uninformed. Yeah, Gallifreyan Ren, absolutely. And it's just making... The thing is, like I say, about a lot of trans... Maybe not all transphobes, but probably all transphobes are fucking minging. Like, they're making them odds for their own backs because they're going to go into They're going to go into a fucking toilet at some point. Some Karen's going to be in there going, hey, you don't look like enough like a traditional white woman to me. Traditionally good-looking white woman. You're black. How dare you? How dare you be black? I'm going to say that you're a man. Okay. You can't use this toilet. Let's have a fight. I got a knife. I've cut you. Like, oh, great. Yeah, that's going to really help matters, isn't it? Cisgender women being attacked in toilets because... they're minging. I mean, it's a horrible thing to say, but it's going to happen. It's probably already happened. I'm sure I've seen some news reports where women who are cisgender have been attacked in toilets by people accusing them of being transgender. And how do you prove you're not? I mean, and if you're post-op and you're a trans woman, how do you prove you're not? What? I mean, like, you're supposed to go around showing your genitals to complete strangers. Oh, that's what they got in America, though, for the kids, the little kiddies, the little kids playing sports, gonna have a dick inspector go around inspecting little girls' genitals. That's what they've got in America right now. Coming to a UK near you, if the transphobes have their way. It's funny because I think that the transphobe community share a lot in common with the paedophile community, especially when they do things like this. Just saying. So, yeah, in short, transphobes, minging, possible paedophiles. There you go. Shift that in your pipe and smoke it. Right, I'm going to move on to Elon Musk, because that's what I was supposed to be talking about today. Elon Musk, who's got a trans daughter who he doesn't speak to anymore because she was eaten by the woke mind virus, apparently. Hi, Vivian, if you're watching. I think you're cool. Elon Musk, right? So he's now the head of Trump's DOGE department, a fictional department that was completely made up. Is now targeting the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. Sorry, I had to read that off the screen because I couldn't remember it. That's the CFPB, forcing its closure just like he did with USAID. And he's boasting about dismantling the government. He put CFPB, that doesn't roll off the tongue, does it? RIP on his Twitter platform. That he's turned into a fucking cesspit of hate. 4chan for cunts. Sorry, I just demonetized the channel. I don't care. Anyway, but yes, and also he's apparently he's got rid of the Department of Education. He tweeted that, Department of Education. What even is that? Doesn't exist anymore. And, Trump is bypassing Congress, who are supposed to set the laws to do with money. Now, America likes to pretend that, the founding of America was the beginning of history. It wasn't. She was around for a long time before then. And way back in the midst of time, a good 400 years, before, over 600 years, more than 600 years before the founding of America, there was a thing in the UK called, England at the time, called the Magna Carta. The Magna Carta. And what was the Magna Carta? Well, essentially, it was the Great Charter, the Great Carta, the Carta that was great. And what it meant was that the unpopular king at the time, King John, who was never as popular as his brother King Richard I, he was stymied by the lords of the kingdom, who the mates of the descendants of the mates of William the Conqueror, who still rule this country to this day, by the way. And they said, right, knobhead, you are going to kind of some kind of separation of powers here. We're going to first of all say there's something above you, which is the law. And secondly, we're going to have this thing called Parliament that's actually going to meet and do stuff and that. I mean, it took a while to kick in, but the idea was that whereas the sovereign, did all the daft military adventures around the world and took care of all that shit, it was Parliament's job to raise revenue, raise capital, right? Raise taxes, tax people, and then spend that money. That was up to Parliament. And so that kind of idea, obviously Parliament wasn't anything like what it is today, but eventually, it became this thing where you had the separation of what you would call executive power. I know the king's got no executive power these days, but the executive power, and then the legislative power, and the legislature could raise funds and spend it on stuff, right? And that was a separation to stop the king going on mad foreign adventures with people's money and bankrupting the nation over and over again, which is a cycle that kept on going round. And when America got founded, Thomas Jefferson looked at this and he thought, "Oh, that's a good idea," and he stole it off the Brits, and said, "Yeah, okay, we're going to have a president, but they're going to have no control over finances. That's going to be done by Congress." Okay, so we're going to have the separation of powers, and you've got the president here, and they can go on daft foreign military adventures and blow people up in other countries. But the money for doing that, he has to ask the Congress for money to go and do that. Trump's completely bypassed that, and no one's stopping him. Nobody is stopping him. The Democrats are not stopping him. The Republicans aren't stopping him. The Democrats are whinging. They're going, "Oh, please stop," which I don't think is forceful enough in any way, shape, or form. I think they should be going, hell for leather to, disrupt everything that Trump wants to do. I mean, even go to the Super Bowl. I would have disrupted it. I would have, I've got ways of stopping people going to the Super Bowl when they're very, very rich and famous. I mean, there are certain ways that you could do that, but the Democrats aren't prepared to jump down in the gutter and fight dirty like what the Republicans are. So, I can't even say what the things that you could do, presumably, are on this channel, because I'll probably get demonetized forever if I did that. Super chat, thank you very much to the Alistair for the super chat for £10. Graham, agree with you. The left needs to get fire. The fire to get the facts, message out to fight the right comms needed, and get better big time, and keep fighting the good fight. Great. Thank you very much, Alistair. You're very kind. We absolutely do. There's so many people just, hand-wringing, making excuses, going, "Oh, well, he won't be that bad. He won't be that bad. He won't be that. He can't do that. He can't. Oh, he just did that thing that we just said he can't do. Oh, well, he can't do that. Oh, no, he wouldn't do that." I mean, and I'm fed up of the armchair fucking psychologists who go, "Oh, he wouldn't do that." I'm like, why? Why? Explain to me why. Oh, because they rely on people thinking they're great, and then fewer people think they're great. He did a fucking Hitler salute, guys. Like, seriously, he did a Hitler salute. Elon Musk, he didn't give a fuck about the stock of Tesla. He didn't give a fuck about Twitter. He doesn't give a fuck about Starlink or SpaceX. He did a Hitler salute. Okay? All bets are off. You have reputation. He's a guy who fucking cheated at playing Diablo 4 and got someone else to play the game for him like a twat. And he's like, you know, my reputation, like he's going to be fucking Othello. You know, my reputation, my reputation. I'm going to kill myself because of my reputation. Oh, piss off. He's not. Doesn't give a fuck. Doesn't give a fuck. It's all about power and money. It's all about power and money and daddy issues with that little twat, Elon Musk. Hate him. Absolutely hate him. Musk has zero accountability. He is not elected. And he now has access to classified data, personal records, financial systems. With no oversight. No oversight whatsoever. At least, in a way, Trump has a little tiny bit of oversight. A little tiny bit. I mean, there is, constitutionally speaking, in the 25th Amendment, which says that if enough people think he's mad, we can get rid of him. Not that that's going to happen, but it is there. It does exist. There is a mechanism for getting rid of Trump. There is no mechanism for getting rid of Elon Musk. And these little sad little wankers, the incels, virgins. We used to just call them virgins. Now we call them incels for some reason. They call themselves that. They're not virgins. They're involuntarily celibate. Okay, mate, I don't want to get into the gory details here, but there are places in around the world where prostitution is legal, And if you could, find it in you to leave your mum's basement for 5 fucking minutes, you could go out and have sex if you really wanted to. I mean, I don't think it's a particularly moral way of, having sex, but, don't have a major problem with it as long as it's safe and legal and, there's no abuse going on. Adults should be allowed to do whatever they want with their own bodies, as far as I'm concerned. But they can't think of that. They're like, no, I want a woman to love me for who I am. And I'm like, yeah, no one's going to love you for who you are because you're horrible. Like, you're just a fucking shitbag. Why would anyone? Why would anyone? Like, seriously, you spend all your time on the internet saying that women are evil. And, I hate women. Oh, women are coming to get me. And you're like, what? Do you write that on your Tinder profile, mate? Like, seriously? How do you expect to get anywhere? I got news for you. You know how you get someone of the opposite or same sex? How you get someone? Just be nice. Just be nice. Just be there. Just fucking turn up and be nice. And you know what? 99 out of 100 people won't be interested, but one will. It always happens. You see some right fucking mingers getting married. Seriously. I used to be a choir boy. Let me tell you. So it's not about charm. It's not about charisma. It's not about being, fucking be able to do the fucking Blue Magnum from Zoolander. It's just about being nice and not being a twat. There's people on the line are like, I'm a complete twat. And they're like, why can't I get a girlfriend? And it's like, maybe, I don't know if you thought about this, maybe you should just try being less of a complete twat. Maybe that could be a thing that you could try. Maybe. I don't know. But then we've made society so atomized and people so scared of going out and meeting people. COVID didn't help. But the internet's done this to us as well. We communicate virtually now so much. I'm doing it now, I much prefer to be. Honestly, I would prefer, if I had the money and I could do this, to just have an open mic night every night where I turn up at a venue in Newcastle or Leeds or Liverpool or Manchester or somewhere and just give a talk, to people who want to sit down and we'll do this live and people can watch it online. But I'd much rather be doing this to a live audience in a fucking empty room. Do you know what I mean? I'm a social creature. I like going out. I'm an extrovert. I clearly, And the internet's been great in one way for introverts because it allows them to communicate with the rest of the world without having to necessarily leave their home. But at the same time, it's created this wall, this invisible wall between us and the real world, I guess. And I feel like communities have suffered as a result of that. I think that the fact that people felt compelled to go to church each week because otherwise they'll burn in the fiery pits of hell. I mean, I thought that was a bad way of getting people to come out of the homes and go and meet their neighbours each week at the local parish church. But at the same time, I'm kind of thinking, actually, it was did get people out though. You know, in its defence, it did get people out the house. It did get people out the house. That's not an empty room. You got the whole world in that room. I do have a lot of it. I do have a lot of copies of Lonely Planet. It's like 2 shelves that are just full Lonely Planets. Musk has called, and I've also got my Lego globe in the window there. Musk has just called California Congressman Ro Khanna a dick. In Mr. Khanna's interview, he said he's known Elon for years and he's totally taken aback by suddenly having that childishness thrown at him. Yeah, Elon Musk, he's a dreadful man. He's an absolutely dreadful man. Every household needs a Graham like Alexa but ranty. Yeah, thank you, Unquiet Badger. Thank you. But yeah, I mean, just like the whole incel movement just blows my mind. It's like so pathetic. And yet they're the people who for some reason regard themselves as alpha males. I don't know, do they? Is that what they do? Or do they follow people that they think are alpha male? The worst of us. The worst fucking possible people, like Andrew Tate, who has this thing about like treating women like shit. Well, actually, committing crimes against women because he's a sexual abuser. But apart from that, he puts this advice out that you say you should neg a woman. You should tell her how shit she looks and how terrible she is and how stupid she is, and then she'll be yours forever. And that's just not reality. That is not reality. And it's really disturbing that one of the few conduits for young men to understand the world and how they should act in the world, because people don't know. People don't know shit until you tell them. They're going and they're seeing this utter garbage coming out of this horrible little bald man with no dick, Andrew Tate, and they're going, oh yeah, that's how you do it. That's how no, it's not. If you're a sketchy weirdo and you go up to a woman in a bar and you go, you're fucking minging, you are. Look at that dress and those shoes. Little airplane reference there. Hope you got it. And you're going to get a slap in the face. You're not going to get like, oh shit. Oh, no one's ever put it that way before. I love you. Let's run away and spend our lifetimes together. Fuck off. What's going to happen? Jesus Christ. Wow. Wowzers, Strousers. Anyway, so talking about Musk. The courts are pushing back. We talked about this over the weekend. Legal challenges have halted some of Musk and Trump's actions, but they haven't stopped them really. They've just paused. Them. And it's paused them until, where does it go? SCOTUS, the Supreme Court of the United States of America, which is gonna just fall in the favor of Trump, every fucking time. And it's like, oh my God, I just wish that Biden had some fucking balls. And as soon as the Supreme Court had given him immunity from prosecution from anything he chose to do, he should have had Donald Trump arrested and put in one of these secret sites that they have, maybe taken to Guantanamo Bay or something, put in a box and shut up. And then when anyone protested against him being put in a box and shut up, they were put in a box as well, because there's only about 5 of them. Like, they wouldn't take that many, There's no loyalty amongst these people. They just latch on to whatever ride they can. They're parasites, They latch on to whatever life form can get them to the next level. They won't care. He should have just fucking done it. He should have just done it. Yeah, he probably would have lost the next election, but he lost it anyway. So, he didn't even end up running in the end because, oh, God, that was a big fuck up, wasn't it? And the weird thing is, obviously you've got was it Time Magazine put Musk on the cover? Was it the New York Times? I think it was Time Magazine, wasn't it? Put Musk behind the Resolute desk, the president's desk on the front cover to wind Trump up. But the Trump and Musk alliance seems to be stronger than ever. We thought that they might clash, but Trump continues to praise Musk's involvement in gutting federal agencies. And the Republicans are defending it. The Republicans are, the GOP leaders and Trump's cabinet secretaries are openly supporting Musk doing whatever the fuck he wants to do, even as he overrides their authority, Oh, Musk Daddy, you do what you like. You just tell me what to do. I'm just this little sub. You tell me, Musk Daddy. God, it's so pathetic. I knew the end of the world would be, something that might happen in my lifetime. I just didn't expect it to be this pathetic, craven, gutless. Anyway, public support for Trump remains high. It's not like the people are out there protesting on the streets, because they're fucking not. They're not. Is Mikey watching? Mikey, where were your protests over the weekend? Come find them, mate. I know I should be listening to mainstream media or the internet or, I don't know, Pigeon Post or however else I'm supposed to find out about these massive protests that took over all the cities, so that they made the cities into gridlock and no one could go to work on Monday morning because of all the damage that was created during these massive riot protests that were going on against what... Musk is also meddling in global politics. He's backing the AfD in Germany. He's tweeting about Jess Phillips and Keir Starmer in the UK. He's trying to, he paid for Trump's re-election. Can we talk about that for a moment? This is a guy who spent $44 billion of other people's money. So, no skin off his nose, mostly the fucking Saudis that fucking bankrolled him. But, $44 billion buying Twitter. Okay, cool. So, yeah. How much did he spend on buying America? What's that? 250 million? What, $250,000? $250,000. Okay, let me do my maths. That's less than 1%. Less than 1% what he spent on Twitter. He spent buying the United States of America. And the people love it. And the people are like, fuck yes! Here's the thing. Started off talking about what he might do with Tesla. Teslas. 200,000 Teslas on the road in Britain. Could he remotely blow them up? Probably. We don't know. Our government doesn't know. The police don't know. GCHQ does not fucking know. I guarantee that no one can give you a definitive answer on that. I think the answer that's going to come back is maybe. Okay, can you stop him doing that? No. Great, good one. Dickheads. 200,000 incendiary bombs. Presumably traveling around at 80 miles an hour up and down the country every day. At any time, they could all blow up with the people inside them. Oh, great. Cool. Brilliant. What a great scheme. What a great plan. Or they could just stop dead on the motorway with a truck behind them. Can't stop in time. Jesus Christ. Number 3, many don't want their precious beliefs challenged. I don't think people's beliefs are that precious, Very precious. Just think, one of those things, isn't it? You've got to have a good line. Here's the line for you. This isn't my idea, by the way. I've stolen this off someone else, but I will take credit for it if you want to give me credit for it. Don't tell people that they made a mistake by voting for Brexit or Trump or whatever. You tell them that they were lied to. Don't say they were conned. Say they were lied to, okay? Because people don't like to be told that they're conned because that makes them stupid. But people being lied to, that's another way of putting it. It means the same thing, really, but, it absolves them of the guilt that they feel for doing what they do. Saying Brexit's still a great idea. I love having to wait in a big, long fucking queue while, a family from afar are trying to enter the country and I have to wait behind them while all the EU citizens are just running through. They're going off. They're already through. Yay, whatever. But yes. Trump's moves could conceivably backfire. Attacking federal agencies, you would think that would be something that would hurt Trump politically, but it won't hurt Elon Musk. This is the thing. There's no oversight on Elon Musk whatsoever. And we're heading towards a constitutional crisis in America, and we're heading towards something else, right? Like I said, I started talking about Teslas and the damage that Musk could do with his Teslas and his Starlink satellites, right? Here's another thing he could do. Right? So, something he said over the weekend, which I and others thought was very telling. He said that, that he's going through this Department of Government Efficiency and he's discovered all this money that is owed that, does it really need to be owed? Okay. So what the Safa Menace is talking about there is he's talking about defaulting on government debt. Oh dear. All right, so at the moment, American dollars are the Federal Reserve currency of the world, right? So not the Federal, they are the reserve currency of the world. And it's essentially a magic checkbook, All oil is traded in dollars. So if Royal Dutch Shell wants to buy some oil from Angola, they don't pay for it in Angolan kwanza or, euros or British pounds or Swiss francs. No, they pay for it in dollars, right? And that's the standard around the world. If people who the American government owe a lot of money to, all the countries, corporations, investors, whoever, suddenly find that they're reneging on their debts because Elon Musk wants to make things more efficient by, just not paying people back, something that I think that Trump would go for because Trump likes the idea of stiffing people. It's one of his little sadistic pleasures in life, along with pulling the legs off puppies and murdering little children on the other side of the world by taking the food out their mouths because he's a fucking sadist and a psychopath. So what happens if that happens? Well, all that money is going to be pulled out of America. And I think the world is going to be searching very quickly for a new reserve currency. Will that be the Chinese ringgit? I don't think it will be. I think it'll be the euro. I think that if the EU is smart and moves fast, which it can do when the EU wants to move fast, it can move fast. I think they should steal America's place as the banker of the world. Because, after all this, after all that's going on, is America going to have any friends left at the end of all this? Is it? I don't think so. I really don't think so. Millions of people cancelling their American holidays. People quietly boycotting American products, American goods, American shit. You're going to see more and more of it as an anti-American sentiment builds and builds as we see this shit show on our TV screens every fucking day for the next 4 years. Trump will absolutely dominate the news every fucking day. He's got like a list of outrageous things, 3 a day that he's going to do, and he's going to keep doing it until we're so exhausted that we just give up and go, oh, go on then. We'll ignore you. You just get on with it. And we can't let ourselves do that. Unfortunately, because that would be the good thing. That would be better for our mental fucking health, wouldn't it? Rather than having to put up with this kind of shit. This shit. H4LO says, can you imagine the bizarre shit going on in Tesla factories? Yeah, I just, it boggles the mind, It boggles the fucking mind that we've given this guy, an unelected psychopath Nazi from South Africa, from apartheid South Africa. His parents owned an emerald mine, some apartheid era emerald mine. I mean, the guy is, he's just an uglier version of a Bond villain. That's what he is. He is just that. That's what he set himself out to be. This is a guy who just, a few years ago was lauded as going to be the savior of the world. He wasn't. He was just putting all the pieces in place for a complete global takeover, putting the Tesla satellites, Tesla cars on the road, his Starlink satellites in space, getting the American taxpayer to pay for it all, and ensuring that he is intrinsic to the infrastructure of many, many places around the world, which cannot operate without his, without his grace. World King. That's what Elon Musk is at the moment. He is also a little squishy human being, just saying. I mean, I don't want to talk about video games right now because it would be inappropriate to talk about the Super Mario Brothers, and particularly the brother called Luigi, who could just jump a little bit higher than Mario in Super Mario Brothers 2, which actually was a different game. That's why it's very different from the rest of the Mario Brothers games. Like, the baddies are different, and you pull things out the ground and throw them at people rather than bounce on their heads. In fact, if you bounce on their heads, you kill them. You die. So you're like, don't try and play Super Mario Brothers 2 like you play Super Mario Brothers 1. I think Super Mario Brothers 2, the original for the NES, became the Lost Levels because they were just too difficult. And the game people said, no, this is too similar to the first one, and the levels are too hard. So they just replaced the sprites in another game. Anyway, in that game, Luigi, you could play as Luigi, Mario, Toad, and Princess, I think. You could just jump a bit higher. I'm just saying. I don't know why I'm talking about Luigi just jumping a bit higher in conjunction with Elon Musk being a little squishy human being. But that's a thing. Where was I? Sorry, I got distracted by Mario. Oh yes, I was going to take you over to the papers. Let's do that. Daily Mail, Daily Fail, Daily Heil. What's going on? Second Labour, unmasked in vile WhatsApp group. I'm in loads of vile WhatsApp groups. Don't give a shit. But at the end of the day, there was a private message, a joke amongst friends. But obviously, the Daily Mail, I was like, oh, outraged about this. Yeah. What about the WhatsApp messages where your man Matt Hancock was given millions and millions of pounds worth of British money, our money, taxpayers' money, away to his mates, landlord who owned the pub down the road from where he lived. Do you remember that? Yeah. Okay. Well, the Mail doesn't. The Mirror. As thousands of cherished boozers face threat of closure, we call on Britain. Your pub needs you. I'm sorry, but it's too expensive. I mean, it's £7 for a pint of lager. I can't afford that. So hang on. Let's just see. So I'll just look at fan funding. Right. So far today, we've got 14 quid. Thank you in fan funding. Right. But Google take a cut of that. So with that money that I've got for doing the show today, I could buy 1 pint of lager. So that's why the pubs are going down the drink. You see what I did there? Because it's too fucking expensive to go to the pub. And yeah, it's just one of those things in life. There's the Times and the Telegraph are exactly the same picture of Keir Starmer there, looking for all the world like the front cover of the Benz album by Radiohead. Katrina Tam, thank you very much for the super chat. I need like a little jingle, don't I? Like a little catchy little 1950s advertising jingle. Like super chat. Is it a bird? Is it a plane? No, it's super chat. Katrina Town, morning Graham. Best course of action is to get Trump to fire Musk. Already plans by Echo, formerly Some of Us, and others to post adverts everywhere about President Musk to get under Trump's skin. Yeah, I think that's a really good idea, and I really hope that that goes ahead with it. But there you go. Tim fucking Brexit Martin says Oliver Brown. Yep, he is a PSM hire, private school mafia hire. As is pretty much everyone in business in the UK. There's a few exceptions like Lord Sugar, but most of them went to private schools. Daddy lent them some money. Daddy lent them some money to buy a pub. That's nice, isn't it? It's a lot easier to own a string of pubs once Daddy's bought you a few pubs to get you going. Hey. Don't you think? Anyway, so Times stories there. Naga Machete there talking about fake nudes of herself, which were online, which is, again, something that the government really, really needs to clamp down on massively. It should be sexual assault. That's it. It is sexual assault, and you will be put on the sex offenders register if you're seen to be creating or downloading this content. And the AI companies that allow these things to be made need to be brought to book. They need to be taken to court and raked over the coals and thrown in jail if necessary. Anyway, so why is Keir Starmer another missed target? Says the Times. Very clever. Said Keir Starmer scooped a penalty over the bar in London hours after sacking a minister over offensive messages. So he missed a goal. Very good. Okay, firms cut jobs ahead of Labour tax change. Employment figures hits Starmer's growth plans. Tax change because companies are going to have to pay national insurance now, a little bit more. National insurance is probably back up to what it used to be. It's just a bit of a nonsense. It's one of these things that when minimum wage came in. Do you remember the stories back when? I'm old enough to remember the stories about minimum wage and how it was going to affect companies and how they were going to have to sack loads of people. Loads of people got sacked, and our economy doubled in size. It doubled in size. It went twice as big, and then it stopped. For 15 years, it stopped. Nobody knows why it stopped. It's a bit like the Polynesian people. They stopped traveling on the oceans for like 1,000 years. They just stopped. They did it for thousands of years, and then for 1,000 years they just stopped, and then they started again. Weird story. That's what Moana is based on, you know. Moving on. Chicken nuggets obstruct criminals' deportation. Son's picky eating amongst reasons cited by Albanian fighting to stay in the UK. Okay, Daily Telegraph. Daily Telegraph is the most disgusting rag. I mean, it's like the Star, but run by Nazis with nice fonts. That's all it is. Well, it's not even particularly nice fonts. You can tell the Nazi newspapers because they use the Gutenberg Bible kind of font, don't they, in their mastheads? Because the Nazis love that font. That's like a bit of a Nazi font. Do you ever notice that? I'm sorry to anyone who's got a Gutenberg Bible style font on their body as a tattoo, but you know the Nazis did like that. You know they did. Check out their proclamations or the what's it called when they had a referendum and they had like "yeah" and 9 and the "yeah" was like in a big bubble and written in that font. Russell, thank you very much for the £10 super chat. Woo! Maybe you can afford around now. Trickle down economics. Thank you so much, Russell. That is very kind of you. I can now afford to get 2 drinks from the pub thanks to the super chats from today. Thank you. But I dropped the C-bomb earlier, so I'm not going to get any money from the advertising on this thing. So I'm sorry, the adverts on this show are going to be even more frustrating for you now because you know that I'm not going to get anything for them. You've just been made to watch an advert, and I got demonetized. Anyway, WhatsApp minister outed by Labour left, and then we've got a PM deal to hand Chagos will cost us 52 billion, says Farage. 52 billion, mate. Fucking what? What are you on about? What? Seriously, like, what? Just, what have you been smoking? 52 billion. You know what does actually cost us? Way more than that. Way more than that. Mr. Farage, Mr. bollock-faced foghorn of ignorance, Mr. nicotine-stained man-frog. Do you know what's costing us even more than that? Your fucking Brexit, you twats! My word. My word. Online harms law could be revised to avoid Trump's tariffs. Trumping his fucking tariffs. There's news here in small letters, just to be horrible. NHS trans surgery for 1,000 patients a year. Yeah. And what? What's the problem? Did they list how many surgeries people have for stuff, you know? What about women who have breast reconstruction after having to have a mastectomy because of cancer? Are you going to list that as well? Are you going to list the number of women who have had to have a hysterectomy? Because, that makes them less of a woman or something in your book? I don't know. Go on, list how many and make it a thing for some reason. Because that's kind of sick to do that, and I don't really understand why. Anyway, I do understand why they do it. I just hate it. Britain compliant with war crimes on arms export, says ex-diplomat. Doesn't surprise me, really. Israel troops withdraw from key Gaza zone. This is the zone separating northern Gaza from southern Gaza. They're withdrawing from there. And the people are coming back to find ruins in their cities, in their towns, in their villages where they live. It's just rubble. Lung cancer cases linked to UK's toxic air pollution, which doesn't surprise me at all because there are people out there who just love polluting the air. They make their cars more polluting. They put dirt in their engine so that more black smoke comes out the back of their cars. I mean, these people are fucking demented. But they put additives into their petrol in their internal combustion engine cars to make more black smoke. They drill the they drill the what are they called? The injectors so that I've forgotten the actual word for it, but it'll come to me after the show. But essentially, they make the hole that the petrol goes through bigger, so it uses more petrol, so it drinks more petrol, so it costs more money to drive around, but also makes a lot more noise because they take away the muffler underneath the car that's supposed to stop the exhaust noise. They get a nice rattly exhaust because they like it. They like the cars to go broom broom. I'm a very special boy. Look at me, everyone, in my noisy car. Broom broom. I'm a special boy. Fucking dickheads. Anyway, hypocrite alert, folks. Biggles 2.0 jet set PM splashes 700,000 on foreign travel after mocking Rishi Biggle Sunak's chopper use. Does he use a chopper? Does he use it? I don't know. Labour to set out new migration plan within weeks to tackle Farage election threat. I don't think that's the way to tackle Farage. I can think of other ways of tackling Farage that don't involve sinking to the same level as him, which is the sewer. Please don't destroy historic family farms. A farmer's emotive plea for an inheritance tax U-turn as he joins protests today. A furious farmer whose family face losing, lots of alliteration there, losing their 142-year-old estate will take to the streets in protest to Rachel Reed's inheritance tax raid. There's about 500 farmers who are affected by this in the country. Yeah. Anger at Labour over deportation videos to appease Farage. Yep, I'm angry with them as well. I agree. I found a newspaper headline that I actually agree with. And there we have some shipping containers and some Chinese flags. US and China set for trade war as Beijing launches retaliatory tariffs. 14 billion of American goods targeted. Expected talks fail to emerge. Doubts over Trump's tactics. I mean, there's lots of doubts over him, isn't there? And then MPs' pals facing the sack over vile chat. Probe after minister fired for WhatsApp messages. I love this still that they've got of Andrew Gwynn here looking, I'll get you. Yeah, it's got to be mentioned, by the way, that he didn't actually say to the pensioner, he didn't say fuck your bins to the pensioner. He wrote it in a group chat saying, wouldn't this be a funny thing to say? If you could say whatever you wanted to your constituents, what would you say? I'll say fuck your bins. Objectively, fuck your bins is quite funny. But when you're a government minister, not the sort of thing that you should be partaking in. And this is the thing, like, people ask why, especially people who are online, constantly online like myself, why don't you go into politics? And I'm like, because of this. Because I've written way worse things than that. It'll come back to haunt me. I don't know I have. I put it on fucking Twitter, for all the world to see. I go, yeah, fuck off. I'm not a diplomat. I'm not a statesman. I'm just a fucking gobshot. I'm just a big gobby fucking, big gobby scouser. He likes to fucking yak on, Fuck your bins. I'm sorry, that's the sort of thing I would say. I'm not defending it because obviously he's had to be sacked for doing that. But at the same time, fuck your bins. Oopsie. I mean, if he had actually said it to a constituent, then that should be it. Do you know what I mean? He shouldn't be an MP anymore. But he did. He said it in a group chat as a laugh, as a joke, But you can't be edgy. You can't be edgy as a politician unless you are a right-winger. A right-winger would have got away with that. Donald Trump will get away with it. Fucking Elon Musk would get away with it. That horrible little man with the hair, what's his name? Boris. I almost forgot about him. Boris Johnson. He would have got away with it. He didn't say fuck your bins. He said fuck business. He still became prime minister, didn't he? Didn't he? Fuck business. What about business? What about businesses being affected by Brexit? Fuck business. Well, fuck your bins and all. I don't know. Lucy, I was once asked to join the diplomatic corps. I told them to go F themselves. Power to the people says, that's exactly what I say. Why I say the same thing when people say I should try to get involved in local politics. Lol. Yeah. Hey, I was thinking about this. In America, they've banned trans people from the military, right? Also, they banned them from the Olympics, which I think means that the Olympics should move. They shouldn't go to LA, right? Well, we should do this, right? So basically, LA spend all the money setting up the Olympics, right? Because it costs a lot of money. And then we just relocate it to London at the last minute and use the facilities that we've already got because we built them in 2012. Well, for 2012. What do you reckon? Because they're saying they're not going to allow transgender athletes. Well, Trump is saying he's not going to allow transgender athletes to compete in the Olympics. He can fuck off. But here's the thing as well. They've also banned transgender people from the military, or at least they've tried to. It's an executive order. I don't know if it's actually going to become law or not, but I don't know how it works over there. But that got me thinking, actually. If things do really, really kick off, you might find that a lot of people decide to, become transgender or feel like they can be... I don't say decide to be transgender because I don't think anyone does. I think more it's like accept who they are. So I'm feeling like more people will accept who they are, especially in the red states, as a result of the fact that they won't be called to sign up. They won't be called to, what's it called? The draft. They won't get the draft, will they? Will they? Because they'll be like, no, you can't draft me into this big war we're having with China and the EU. Like, you can't draft me in there because I'm trans. And yeah, you might see the number of trans people who are, accepting of who they are just double, triple, quadruple overnight as a result of people like literally not wanting to be fed into a war machine, which is the way things seem to be going with this Musk guy and Trump in charge of the world for some reason. But there you go. Anyway, so, the law of unintended consequences. I think that, in closing, I just want to say, I think that Trump and Musk, but especially Musk, because he's still a private citizen. He's still a private citizen, right? And there's no reason why he should get the Secret Service level protection that a former president gets, right? When Trump is out of office, he'll still have his protective detail. And although Musk is a very, very rich man at the moment, he can lose all that money in an instant because all his money is based on the people's perceived values of the things that he owns, right? So he owns Tesla. There's been a disconnect in recent years between the intrinsic value of the commodities that you make and the value that is given to a company because of meme stocks, because of Apple, because of these companies whose actual their market cap is just ridiculously high. It's for Tesla, it's stupid. I mean, it's higher than Ford, Toyota, Hyundai, Honda, all put together. Like it's multiple other car companies, and yet it creates a lot fewer cars and sells a lot fewer cars than other car companies. So there's that. He could lose everything overnight, and if he does, there's going to be no protection for him. Because the US government are not going to pay to protect Elon Musk, a foreign national who has ridden their country's economy into the ground because he's a fucking dickhead. They're not going to pay for his protection, Right, I'm going to go off to play Mario and his brother, Luigi. I like Luigi. I really, really like Luigi. I like the way he can jump a bit higher. Just mentioning Luigi a few more times before I go because, that's a way of, dog whistling. I love it when the left dog whistle. Corto, my son came up with a name to call Musk this morning, Muscolini. Oh, that's very good, actually. Muscolini, he is, actually. And you know what they did to Mussolini? Mussolini, the original? Do you know what they did to him at the end of the war? How he met his maker? Do you remember that? Yeah? If that happens to Musk, I'd like to go and visit. I'd like to go and see. I'd look up at him and wave. Like this. Anyway, right, I'm going to move on now, and I will be back tonight with Stateside at 8 o'clock tonight. Hang in there, people. I'm going to try and jump onto the Discord server at some point. If you're a member of the channel, and to become a member, all you need to do is press the join button. It's only a couple of quid a month for the lowest level, but you get a nice little rose next to your name. When you leave a message, you get a rose. Super Tiny's got a rose, and One Angry Pagan's got a rose, and they go different colours. The longer you are a member, you get different coloured roses going. It starts at pink and then goes red, runs through the rainbow, and then it's purple at the end. We've got no purples at the moment. I don't think. I think we've got one violet. But yeah, if you would like to join up, that'd be cool. And if you pay £4 a month, you get access to our Discord server where you can continue the conversation with the other lovely people in the chat. And I will spend more time on it. I keep saying I'm going to spend more time on it, and I never do. So I've got to really do this now. Okay, but really, really spend more time on the old Discord server, chatting with Hughes lot. But yeah, if you've got any ideas for shows that you want to see on this channel that you think will be popular and interesting, if you've got any ideas for like stuff that I can do, because I kind of like playing GeoGuessr, but it's kind of I can't do that for the rest of the time. I think it will get boring quite quick. So if you want to watch me play video games or a particular video game or whatever, just let me know and I'll consider it. Or if you want me to make more Lego, that was fun. That was fun making the old Lego globe. She's behind me. As a patron, member, I feel like a second-class citizen with no rose. I'm so sorry, Lee Corn. That's really bad, isn't it? I can't give you a rose because you're a patron. I think YouTube have done this on purpose, haven't they? To make it like, here's a little thing that you can get on here that you can't get on Patreon. Like, screw Patreon. Give all your money to Google instead. But yes, I might have to try and do something extra special for my patrons out there as well. Because you can be a patron if you want. Maybe there could be an extra awesome thing for them. Anyway, so Leonora. Oh, mate, for real? What? There was a Leonora. You start your worry up. You'll end up on an anti-MAGA list somewhere. I hope I'm already. If there is a list, I hope I'm on it. I like being on a list, especially where it's a list of like +1s into a gig. Okay, right. I'm heading off now. Is James O'Brien back? Is James O'Brien back on LBC, or have you got someone weird? Should we go and have a look? I'll go and have a look on LBC before I go, because I don't want to just leave you in the lurch. It's 4 minutes. It's Lewis Goodall. Lewis Goodall. Okay, so you go listen to Lewis Goodall for a few hours, and I will see you this evening, Mikey, our friend, Mikey Famine, and we'll talk about what the fuck is going on in America. It's not good, is it? It's really not good. But we've got to hang in there, keep pointing it out, and be there for each other. Please write to your MP. Ask them what is in place to stop Musk from deactivating or blowing up all the Teslas in the country. Have the government considered this, and what has been put in place to stop it from happening? That's the question. Okay, thanks for the chat. Thanks for the super chats. Give us a like on the way out if you liked it, and if not, give us a dislike. I don't care. It's all interactive. It's all good. Interactions. It's all interactions. It's all good. It's all it all feeds the algorithm. Feed it good. And until next time, I'll say thanks for watching. Hello, good evening, welcome, and goodbye.